Okay, I'm with David Caldwell. David Caldwell, a week ago, just announced that he has left his previous broker and made the move to Real Broker. I remember sitting with David 2 years ago having a passionate conversation about why Real wasn't a good choice, or maybe not a good choice, but wasn't the choice for him, and why his current brokerage was a most amazing. Fast forward 2 years. Welcome to Real Broker, David. What was the shift in mindset that made you go, Real is the model for me?
Well, if we go backwards, right? Like I've told everyone this, like I'm not an early adopter. When people pitch me early adopter models, it's not for me. I crypto hasn't been for me yet. Like I'm just not an early adopter. I like to see things that are proven. So, I have a buddy, someone who I work with, who wanted to make the switch. And it really put me in this position where I needed to be open-minded to making a change, or open-minded to losing that business relationship, because he was going to go to Real and he had his reasons, but I needed to have my own reasons. So, for about a month time period, if I tell the whole story, we explored staying where we were, which, nothing wrong with where we were. We were happy. We weren't looking to make a move. I'm going back independent because we had done that at one point, and why not look at that as well? And then joining Real and, taking a very unbiased looking at the track record, history, and success that Real's been having, which is undeniable, really did give me a perspective change. And, when I look at, like, the main question you had was, why did I come to Real? My responsibility as a team leader or leader in my marketplace, if people follow me to brokerage, is to help them either earn more money or earn similar money in less time, and so they can spend time with their family. And it was the efficiency that I believe that Real is going to bring to my business model that was the catalyst for change for us.
Amazing. What were some of the tools, or what were some of the things that were the catalysts? Like what you said, like what were the items that you were like, this is it. This is amazing.
I remember walking out of that meeting and my office manager was like, we are not going to move. And I called Erica Wolf, and she had given me her login to the website. And I was like, hey, just like look at this for like 30 minutes and then come back to me and tell me what you think. And immediately she was open-minded to exploring the conversation. User interface is important. Like, why do people like Instagram or TikTok? It's a user interface. When you look at the user interface of, kind of the operating system of your business, like the back end of the Real website that the agents get to use, it's very easy to use. You can tell that there's efficiency being prioritized in building it. When you look at, the AI, we ask the AI some very simple questions that we might ask a transaction coordinator from time to time. And we're like, oh, wow, the AI can answer this because the AI talks to this transaction management system that this company built. They're not borrowing or leasing. The company that I was previously with, if I went back independent, everything we liked about that company, we could buy. What we liked about Real, we could not go purchase on our own and or build. And we looked at that as a real, competitive advantage. Having the technology ecosystem being wholly owned. And we know from other real estate companies and how much money they've invested in their own technology, how important that is. For us, we felt like if we're going to be able to maintain this promise of making our agents' lives easier, that an alignment with a company that clearly is prioritizing that as well was important.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, 3 years ago, I was told we're going to have all this amazing tech. We had pretty decent tech at the time, but here's where we're going to go. Here's what we're going to do. I met with Tamir. I met with everybody, all at the leadership 3 years ago, and they said, here's the next step, next step, next step. Here's the roadmap. So this is what we're going to do. And I have seen month over month, day over day, all of those things come to fruition. And so I could totally understand for somebody from an outsider going, I just don't get it. It sounds great, but is it actually going to happen? And then when you actually have the tech stack in hand and you look at it, you go, oh, this is actually really amazing. Now, one thing is you're somebody that, you're a coach and you do a lot of things helping agents. What about coming to Real do you think is going to help you leverage and help you help other people grow?
Well, man, like when you look at like Real Academy, let's say the agents in my marketplace or the agents, that I'm friends with, and maybe I don't have a coaching relationship with. If you're someone trying to sell $100 course, like Real Academy is a real threat to your business model, right? Because the ease of getting in there and the flow of looking at what I want to learn. Like one thing I've showed people, I'm like, hey, you want to learn how to do open houses if you're a team leader, someone on your team, train them to use the AI and just ask that question, because it's going to give you different videos to watch. There's also these different tracks. I think the killer of team productivity is got-a-minute questions and people not following up with $20 leads, right? So the fact that Real Academy exists there, is connected with this program, called Leo, I think is going to enable me to help a lot of agents actually be more efficient, tied into the Real ecosystem. Selfishly, I like to contribute. I mean, I don't know if it's selfish to contribute, but I like the opportunity to be on things like this. What's cool about the culture of Real is that seems very ingrained, is there is this open-mindedness to learning, at that company and getting better, which we all know doesn't exist inside every company. So I'm really looking forward to taking advantage of those opportunities and being able to share, contribute, learn, because it's very simple to do that at Real as well.
Yeah, what you said a second ago is super important. We use Lofty as a CRM tool, right? It's the only monthly fee we have, which is $40, and it is one of the best tools I've had. And so when we use Lofty, I have questions like agents like, hey, can you help me with Lofty? Can you help me set up landing pages? Like I show them, here you go, come into Real Academy. Right over here is a past class, exactly what, and you know what? If you want to go to the next class, this class, all the stuff you want to learn that's going to help you in your business is right here. And I just showed you how to do it just by going in and doing this. And it's super easy to get into. It's not like you have to log into a world or you have to go into your company database. It's right there on your mobile phone. And people just sometimes lose their minds when I show them that they actually have it right there on their phone. So as far as, look, we've talked about the technology, which there's a lot of things we can go in deep dive into detail on the technology. We've talked about the culture. What else about the model is something where you just went like, this is what agents need?
Well, I think the cloud model or a wholly owned company is really important. I don't want to be beholden, or my tools or resources be beholden to the net worth of a local franchise owner. That's not something that I want to participate in, or I think necessarily is super healthy for the average agent or team leader, because things change, right? Being in alignment with any publicly traded real estate company, I believe, is a competitive advantage. But that's certainly for me. By the way, I can be aligned with that company that lets me be Sprite to their Coca-Cola, meaning that like Hillshire Realty Group, the thing that I've worked hard to build since 2012, we just basically have a real logo right now, and we get all the great tools and resources that we could never afford to build or buy. To me, I mean, like I know that this is the model of the future. The franchise model is dead in almost every business vertical.
It's really interesting. Somebody asked me a question the other day about marketing, right? They're like, well, I like this other brokerage because they have this marketing easy button tool where you can just plug in and then it'll do all the print and everything. And it was really interesting because I had an agent ask me about it. And I asked an agent that had come from that brokerage to Real. They left the C word to Real. And they go, oh yeah, it's great if you want to do print marketing, but who calls people off of mailers? We have that where you have the plug and play, like really sleek, like postcards or whatever. All you gotta do is download it and then take it over to, whatever digital printer and do it that way. It might add 5 more minutes, but okay, 5 more minutes. I'm paying a $12,000 split versus never capping ever in my life, right? And I'm paying, I have agents, friends that are paying $300,000 a year to be at another brokerage. And when I'm showing them, like, for 12 grand, you have all the exact same thing. Plus you have the Elite Award, which we haven't talked about yet. For people that are producing, the Elite Award is my favorite tool because it builds community and it builds your business, right? So for in my market, selling about 30 homes a year, I can hit Elite, which means that I get $24,000 back in stock, right? And then on top of that, part of getting that $24,000 back in stock is just giving time back into the community, which is like 1 hour a month. So like locally, we do 1 hour a month, in-person agent trainings. You do agent trainings in your office consistently. So you fit in that model. So selling a bunch of homes, you get Elite, 24,000 back in stock. And on top of that, you're incentivized just to give back to the community. So you have that collaboration. One of the coolest tools I've seen.
Yeah,
To get people to really collaborate.
Yeah, I think for team leaders or people in my position, I'm going to do what I'm doing no matter what, whether I was getting compensated or not. But it makes it where my brokerage fees essentially disappear. And even, my team members, we were in an inexpensive cloud-based model, and we went to one that's even more economical for us. In our move, I basically made every person on my team at least one mortgage payment. And that's meaningful. I think people underestimate what, paying lower fees and getting a similar product, a similar service level, what it really means. And, I know in my marketplace, most people who move,
I would argue a better service model, but go ahead.
Okay, so better service model. But in my marketplace, I know most people I talk to that have moved so far with us, it's equivalent to making one or two of their mortgage payments. And like, you can't discount that. Like that is meaningful to any family.
I love it, man. I love it. Well, look, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. You answer a lot of really good questions. I'm so excited for your move to Real, not just because selfishly you're part of my organization and part of like what I get to do, but I'm excited because look, seeing amazing agents come to Real makes me happy because what I got to see 3 years ago and the vision now coming to fruition, amazing people like you coming in and doing amazing things and turning around and helping the people behind you. That's the most exciting part for me for this whole thing. So welcome. And I'm glad to have you.
Thank you.